Yeah, Pink Floyd, The Wall. November 79. I'm about to hit 13 years of age. And I remember listening to being at my friend's house, top of the avenue. And he had this album, this white cover with these bricks, this wall image on it, and this. I remember the picture. I remember the judge because he was basically the cartoon. Gerald Scarfe cartoon was a pair of legs with his backside, with eyes on his backside. And you could see his what's it dangling beneath, and I just thought that was brilliant. And then by a few weeks later, the Christmas #1. These are the days when you get Joe Dolce getting, what's the matter you, hey, got no respect, and that was sort of thing you got on, sometimes in your charts. Christmas #1 for 1979 is Pink Floyd, Another Brick in the Wall Part 2, We Don't Need No Education, and which was banned immediately by, muttering that down the corridors of school. Even a reasonably pleasant school as I went to, it was like, oh, how dare you? Of course you need education, stupid boy. What a beautiful album. It's a concept album. The rock star Pink, becomes famous, but all his relationships go, and as he gets more and more famous, he becomes more and more divorced from reality, i.e. the bricks and the wall build up around him, and some brilliant songs, great structure to the album. Again, most people have heard of things like Comfortably Numb, Another Brick in the Wall, obviously, Comfortably Numb. There's some great rock and roll stuff on it. Young Lust, what a great song. Young Lust would be, if Young Lust hadn't been written for The Wall, I'd have written it for Prodigal, because actually, if you wanted an idea of a kind of kid going to the city and letting loose and doing what he wants, I am just a new boy, stranger in this town, and it's proper rock and roll, beautiful stuff. But there's bits of it where it just captures that sense of isolation, that sense of loss, that sense of being out of control, stuff going on around you. It had a particular impact on me because I was listening to it a lot, going into, later on in my own personal life, when my mum died. I was on my own a lot at home when I was listening to The Wall, which probably wasn't a particularly healthy thing to be doing, but there was bits of it that really resonated for me and spoke to me and touched an emotional. I think good music on one level has the capacity to speak for you when you can't speak for yourself. It speaks the language of how you're feeling, when actually in some ways you don't actually know how you're feeling. When a bad thing happens to you, when you're bereaved, and people will say, entirely, with no ill intent, oh, I know how you feel, and you can talk to me, and teachers come up to me and say, this is my last year at school, the summer holidays before my mum had passed away, and teachers would come up to you after when you went back to school and say, you could talk any time, and there's a bit of me like, well, talk about what? What do you want me to say? What can I say to you? How can I articulate how I feel when I don't know how I feel myself? And yet music has the capacity to bridge that. And for me, The Wall did that. I think that's why it has such a magnetism for me even now. I think it's a good album. It's not perfect, and there's bits of it that are a bit filly. Some places, perhaps, maybe. But, you get an album, we get that with any album. There's rarely an album where everything in it is brilliant, and you could probably say that about The Wall, but for the most part, and the delayed guitars, very influential on me. I mean, really, and all that kind of stuff going on. David Gilmour at his finest, really. The keyboards, the kind of repetitive kind of going on through various tracks and songs, and weaving in and out like a carpet weave of some kind. It's good stuff. Yeah. Pink Floyd, The Wall, brilliant, great stuff that.